Reviews of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage's pilot season have been divided, but improving the second half will need addressing a few storylines. Aside from being a spin-off created by the young Sheldon conclusion, the show has already established a reputation for itself, but not necessarily in a positive way. Although every member of the cast of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage has done an excellent job in their roles, many of the characters now raise more questions than they do answers. Audrey seems to agree with the adage that you detest the things that most remind you of yourself. She has been complaining all along that Georgie is too young and illiterate for Mandy. But according to Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 Episode 8, they share a significant trait. Are these two ever going to be friends? At first glance, Audrey's problem appeared to be entirely apart from Georgie and Mandy's dispute. After agreeing to give Mandy $1,200 for nutrition bars and diet drinks that she was unlikely to ever sell, Georgie spent the remainder of the show trying to please Mandy. Naturally, he was successful in persuading a passing man to purchase 2 boxes of diet products, and everyone disregarded Mandy's request for their interest. Not surprisingly, either, Mandy became more irate with Georgie than she had ever been in her life. Why would she be pleased that he outperformed her the moment he attempted to offer her diet items? She was already bitter that he earned a comfortable income while she worked for less than minimum wage at a diner. Audrey, meantime, was astounded to learn that Connor could handle housework and had only been putting it off because Jim hadn't asked him. Naturally, there was more to it than that. The most moving scene in Diet Crap was when Audrey told Jim that she enjoyed taking care of Connor and didn't really want him to take care of himself. She and Mandy share a similar dilemma in certain ways, but Audrey comes from an age that expected women to be stay-at-home mothers. Thus, she was not allowed to look for a work to fulfill her role. What will happen to Audrey if her 26-year-old baby boy is able to become completely independent? Since she has spent several decades only being a mother, her life will be meaningless. But this problem also demonstrates the similarities between Audrey and Georgie. Similar to Georgie's desire to resolve Mandy's sales problem, Audrey wants to step in and fix everything for Connor. As a result, Audrey and Georgie stifle and irritate the individuals they care about because they are too anxious to assist. Does Audrey's discomfort with Georgie stem in part from the fact that she perceives this trait in him? Of all, the interaction between Georgie and Audrey could have many more complex causes. According to Audrey, Georgie supplanted her as Mandy's most significant individual. She views him as illiterate and a disgrace to the family, and he also got her pregnant. However, the more time passes, the less she appears to be the snobbish and obnoxious enemy from young Sheldon. She is more relatable and human. If Georgie and Mandy come split up first, she might gradually warm up to him since she wants what's best for Mandy. Despite the differences in detail, nearly all of Georgie and Mandy's disagreements center on money. Despite possessing a college degree, Mandy complains that she works in a diner and is ashamed of her credit card debt. When she and Georgie became parents to Cece, everything in her future, including her financial goals, was appended. Even though they appear to be solving this issue every week so far, it still appears to be unsolvable. Nevertheless, it appears that this is what will ultimately cause them to split up. Even though they never intended for any of it to occur, the series' entire concept seems to revolve around the subject of whether an unplanned pregnancy may result in a loving marriage and family. In this sense, it resembles the UK film Catastrophe, which likewise focused on an accidental family that began with an unintended pregnancy, but set in America. Georgie and Mandy Season 1 Episode 8's diner scene served as a particularly moving reminder of Mandy's frustration. She must endure clients like the man who stays there for hours on end and simply wants tea, in addition to working at a job that pays much less than she would like and doesn't use any of the talents she learned in college. Mandy felt totally worthless because of the customer, which is bad for both her and her marriage to Georgie. It is never forgotten that Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is essentially a comedy, despite the fact that there is plenty to analyze about the people and circumstances. The McAllister's constant teasing is funny. As much as everyone else's defensiveness and snark contribute to the conversations, so does Connor's dry sense of humor. Connor also had a humorous subplot. I admired his willingness to help out with chores if requested. That most likely stems from his neurodivergence, which would not have been recognized in the 1990s when this occurred. Connor wasn't immediately aware that he was expected to help out around the house, but after it was explained, he was more than happy to assist. I'm not sure if I'm more pleased that Connor has genuine plots at last, or that his family has learned that he meets their expectations. We need more television shows that provide a positive and important message about neurodivergent individuals. Like Connor, we are not usually asked to do anything, even though we are frequently more capable than people know.